I just wanted to.
No,
I just
no, no,
can't. I
goddammit.
can't
I'm a
come.
total
I
fucking
can't come
idiot because
slipping
I
on the
didn't
first
record
show,
the
man. I
first.
had to say something.
Because I didn't record the first 15 minutes of this interview.
You what?
I didn't record the first 15 minutes of this interview. Why didn't you remind me to record, Hardaway? I always remind you to record. You don't remind me to record. What kind of shit is that? Huh? Right?
Oh
Right?
no!
Like, I'm sitting
Oh
here.
no, I'm talking so much shit.
Like,
Oh
no,
Bro.
you know what? Hold on,
Man, I can't
hold on.
believe you.
Man,
yeah, there we go.
you
There's
just
some
hold
reaction.
up. I'm gonna shut up.
Next time you got something to say to me.
Look, you see this, right? Y'all need to check this out. War Stories for Top Cow. I ain't getting into no more of it. We already covered some other shit. We'll get back into, right? I can't believe I missed
Did you start recording?
No, man, I'm totally not recording now because what would be the fun in that? Let's just sit and have a conversation with Hugh that no one ever sees. It'll be another lost episode, right? We did that once. I don't know if you know Hugh, but if you ever go and you look, you can't find episode 1. You ever notice that?
Oh, you know what? I never even scrolled that hard.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Go look
I'll
for
go back
episode
and
1,
check.
Hugh. It's not fucking there.
It doesn't exist. Eh? You forgot to record.
Yeah.
No. Actually, in that
he
case,
recorded it, just didn't record the sound.
yeah, when I recorded, it didn't
Oh,
record the fucking audio for some
Gas face.
goddamn reason. Yeah,
Yeah. So every
since
time this man, out of all the times he's recorded, 2 of the times he messed up, but I can't say much because I messed up 1 too. But
shut up
the
and make
point
some
of the
fucking
matter.
more TikToks, Hardaway.
You know what? Look, the problem with this whole entire situation is that you the one who messed up. You just lost 15 minutes of great conversation and interview, and these people will now not know what this man's favorite ice cream is. Chocolate, by the way, people. He done fucked it all up. All right, man. All right.
This
So
is why. Look, this is why I need
who
an
do
assistant, a
you think will
producer, a
win?
secretary.
All right.
You to make more TikToks.
This is real. This is real talk. Now he done messed up. So I'm running now. Who do you think will win? All right, Popeye or Goku?
Popeye or Goku?
Yep.
I don't know, man. I guess before Goku goes Super Saiyan, I think Popeye, if he got that spinach, it'd be on. But once Goku went Super Saiyan, sorry, Popeye, man, not enough spinach in the world gonna help save you from that ass whooping.
Well, I do want to say this one though. Goku's liable to let Popeye punch him. He's because he's gonna think he's weak. You do realize that anything Popeye punches reverts back to its most smallest stage. So we would have baby Goku. There wouldn't even be Kid Goku. That'll be baby Goku. Baby Goku can't do shit.
Young Goku was strong, man. Remember Young Goku?
Young Goku was. Baby Goku ain't shit. Baby Goku
man.
got taught by Grandpa Gohan.
You never see Goku. We never seen Goku as a baby. He could have been a ruckus. He's the monkey
Dragon Ball.
Man. Could have been a ruckus.
No, you remember in Dragon Ball he was a baby?
He wasn't.
Grandpa Gohan was the one who trained him.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? So that's why I bring this up because Popeye is just horrifying. The man was erased by his creator, and then he told his creator to draw him back. And so not even non-existence can stop Popeye.
Oh, you bringing it down to that? Okay, all right.
I still go with.
I'm just saying, the man punches mountains and it turns into rubble. And I'm not talking he punches it and you just see this whole huge crater of power and whatnot. It's just no, to the molecular structure.
Hey, real quick, on a different note. Popeye. On a different note, yo, this is the questionnaire y'all tuning into, right? I'm the unknown factor. That's my brother JD Day Hardaway. This is Hugh Rookwood in the motherfucking house.
Yeah, and I forgot to do the interviews twice.
I forgot to press record.
Tell him why.
I was getting ready to, Hardaway. If you shut the.
Look, it's all good, man.
Tell him why this episode is just weird as hell.
Look, I'm just gonna appear on the scene. Just
is it maybe
not even a theme song came and played, bro. It just came. Wow, here you go.
No. I do. Look, don't even worry about how I'm gonna do it. I know how I'm gonna do it. It's fine, bro. It's gonna get a hand out. What the
Blade
fuck?
Is the shit. Didn't even get the Blade conversation. All right, look, there is a whole amazing Blade conversation, and now I'm going to summarize it for you guys as nothing more than a tribute. Blade
Real
1 and 2
quickly,
and 3
you
were
mean
great in my
summarize it for you
opinion.
guys
He likes
watching it,
Blade
not
1
for
and
me
2
and
as our
you.
guest. All right. Unknown agrees that Blade 1 and 2 are good and Blade 3 is in and whatnot. All right. Now, here's the prime thing. We can't see anybody else other than Wesley Snipes playing Blade. That's just a fact, just like we can't see anybody else playing Deadpool as Ryan Reynolds. Funny story, our guest, while watching the Blade and Ryan Reynolds' first appearance into both of our worlds, because he didn't exist until then, he's looked over at his friend where he was in the movies and said, yes, tell him.
I said he would make a good Deadpool.
All right, but
These people's
I love the point you continue to make later on, as far as you were watching an interview with a particular gentleman, and you go ahead and tell that part too, bro.
Oh, about Stan and Blade, right? Yeah. Some gentlemen were interviewing Stan, and they were talking about Tony Stark, Iron Man, and how it set off the MCU um, films. And it's like Stan had to correct them and say, "No, our first successful movie was Blade," and he made sure that he dropped it and let them cats know. And I appreciate that, because a lot of guys don't want to give Blade its props, and Blade's one of them ones, man. For real.
I got to throw it up one more time. You know, actually, I bet me and you were in this. Were you there when Stan Lee was there? You
Probably, yeah.
in
I think so.
Chicago?
Probably, yeah.
We
When
were
Stan was there,
totally in the same
and
building. Mind you, I
yeah,
ran out of that building to get this picture, and he was dope enough to tell his agent, "Shut
he's
up and take this
yeah,
picture with this kid who's a
he's
fan of mine."
amazing,
Like, yeah. So shout out to the
amazing.
man. May he rest in peace. If you
Yeah,
want
man,
a full
most
story on
definitely.
that, I said it on a past episode. Go watch them
Will do.
all.
Will do.
watch
Uh,
all of the episodes,
yeah,
people.
you know, it's all
Rest
You'll
just
in
be
a tribute.
entertained.
Stanley.
It's all
Rest
just
in
a
power,
tribute
Stanley.
to episode 1 and the first 15 minutes of this particular episode.
Yeah, Stan's an amazing dude, man. Stan, he's one of them ones, man. He's
So
an
let me ask
amazing
you
dude.
on that note, Hugh. Let's say you could pick to work with a writer in the industry, just like it's like cherry pick.
Has to be
Somebody,
alive.
yeah, somebody alive, right? So you know, there's certain you obviously couldn't. Who you really want to work with, writer wise, man? Who would you love to take their thoughts and put it on page?
Alive right now?
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
You know what? I'll be honest with you. I really don't know. Like right now, for what's going on right now, I don't really know. Like, I really don't know.
I feel like that's a bit of a cop out answer, Hugh.
No, I'm sorry, man. Honestly, I really don't know. Like, I mean, even with my comic book reading, it's so sporadic now. Like, it's not even with the new stuff, it's just doesn't have the same feel like what I came up with. I'm so old school. I just love, you know what I'm saying? That's just what it's
He's
up.
not going to give an answer, Hardaway, unless I give him the dead.
No, you could always just suggest one like Frank Miller, Doug Wagner, Neil Gaiman.
Brian Michael Bendis,
You know
Garth
what?
Ennis.
Frank Miller, yeah, Frank Miller, Neil Gaiman, yeah. But I think Frank Miller writes in a way that I think would be really, really cool. I really like, I really loved his Daredevil run, of stuff like I really like the way he thinks, I would say probably Frank Miller. Yeah, for sure.
I think your style would go well with him because you use a lot of
Yeah,
hard
yeah.
black lines and shading and
Now,
whatnot.
Yeah, I
give me
think I like how he plays with the mood and especially in the way he illustrates too. Like in the way he illustrates too. Like I really like the way he plays with the moods. With the negative and positive
yeah. No,
spaces and stuff like that.
let's go ahead and just give you a dream wish. Now, give me a dead one.
Dead one,
Mm.
dead one. Um, mm, you know what? I would love to work with Stan Lee. I would have loved to do something with Stan Lee.
Who the fuck
Stan Lee.
wouldn't, Hugh? Come on now.
No, seriously, Stan Lee.
I
Why
mean,
not?
I mean, I'm
Why
sincere
not?
too. I'd love to have Stan Lee on the questionnaire.
Why not?
Oh
Why
my
not?
goodness,
But
that
then
would have
you
been
said
great.
dead. Why not? The creator of Marvel Comics? Why not?
I mean, I think
Look,
he is responsible
I ain't
really
even gonna
for.
lie. If I was an artist though, I'm not saying I wouldn't pick Stan Lee and stuff like that. Like saying Stan Lee's a bad choice, but personally, I pick Homer. If we were
So,
going to go with
mhm.
any writer throughout time, I'm going to pick Homer. Ain't nobody got a better imagination than him. Maybe the dude who wrote Journey to the West. You know
Mm,
what I'm saying?
yeah.
Like that, maybe that guy. But other
Ah,
than that,
to hell with
it's
that.
going.
You
Nah,
said
nah.
Journey
If
to the
we're gonna
West.
go that
Yo.
route, give me Douglas Adams.
Hmm?
Yeah.
Douglas
Douglas Adams
Adams.
will be pretty good. You know what
Mhm.
I'm saying? But
Yeah.
there's so many. So if you really want Douglas Adams, just go hit up Neil Gaiman. He's
I
the one
hear
who
you.
finished the series. You know what I'm saying?
The reason why I say Stan because it's Stan Lee and the stuff like that's the era I was coming up in. Like, and Stan was had his hands on a lot of stuff and he had a lot of writers doing stuff, but he had a lot of like I mean, he set my world. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
I'm
No, I
that on a personal level would just be cool. Like I'm just like, "Oh, I'm working with Stan Lee." Like, you
oh
know
no,
what I'm
yeah, I
saying?
totally get
Oh
that, man.
yeah,
Because
no, I understand completely. I was
yeah.
just saying what I would do because I was like, that was an interesting question to get to dead people because I've always wanted to say
Well,
I want Homer because the man wrote the Odyssey.
yeah, I hear
And
you.
can I say too, though, on the note of Stan Lee, man, I understand because like that's why I say my greatest influence as a hip hop artist is Stan Lee because he got me into comic books, which made
Mm,
me read a shitload. So he gave me the vocabulary that I have. You know what I mean, as far
hmm.
as to reach
That's
into
it.
depth and find words. So I totally get that, man. But on that, like, I know he was definitely the kind of guy I'd just walk up and be like, "Howdy," and just like try to chat to you because
Coolest
I had an
dude.
opportunity and his agent was telling him to go, and he pretty much politely told his agent to fuck off. I'll always love Stan Lee
Yep,
for that moment. Again, may he rest
yep.
in peace. But howdy, I'm John Ware, bro, from Red Barn Books. Won the Children's Book and Heritage Book of Year awards. I just want to congratulate you for that. Now,
Thank
I
you,
know
my
we
friend.
talked about it before, but I'm flipping back into it because I fucked up. So whatever. All right. What initially got you into doing children's books like that, man? As far as like to where it flip flopped and like, do you have like, is that something you really want to continue to pursue as well as continue to do comics? Like, would you like to kind of keep that as a side? Like, I draw children's books too.
Um, yeah,
Or
for
let me
oh,
hold on.
sorry.
Before you answer, sorry, I'm going to take that question a step deeper. Would you like to draw children's comic books as well? Like, ones that are for like 3, 4, 5, 7 year olds, the younger crowd.
Yeah, I like to do anything that's gonna do anything to for the children, man, for the kids. Like like this for me, even with any like I love my comic books and stuff like that. But the fact that I did this, and it's in the stores, it's in the libraries, it's what I'm saying. Like it's getting around. Um, you know, Teachers can pick it up and educate their kids about it. Like that's for me, that's pinnacle for me. Like I'm very happy about that because you have your short time here on this planet and I've left my name synonymous with something that is going to last generations past me and teach children about an actual time in history. You know what I'm saying? And nothing to my superheroes and stuff like that. That's always going to be my love. That was my driving force to draw. But this when I did this and we won and everything, that was just like, oh my God, that's amazing. And kids picking it up and then parents ordering the books and buying them for their kids. I just feel like that for me, legacy wise, is one of the pinnacles for me. Just something that I've left on this planet that is going to travel way past me.
Q is for the children.
Well, that's it,
And can I
right?
say,
Like, woo,
Yeah,
right?
you learn from the woo. You learn
That's
well,
it.
sir.
You know what I'm saying?
well, on the
That's
note
the
of legacy,
foundation.
man,
So,
I gotta say there was a bit of legacy on this questionnaire because I'm sitting here reading through it. So genre of film, martial arts, sci-fi, fantasy. These are my three favorite number ones. My
that's
brain
right.
went, there's only
Man,
one film he should select as a favorite film then, right? That I could
Mhm.
honestly think of that like encompasses all three of those really, really well. And then I'm like, oh, yeah, that movie, right? Being Kurt Russell's Big Trouble in Little China. Like, I
Ta-da!
love how you literally, because I read that and I'm like, there's only one film that really, really does that. So I'm curious if, and then I look down just a little and I'm like, oh, well, look at that. He very much loves, uh, yeah, martial arts, sci-fi, fantasy films because I don't know what other genre you'd put Big Trouble in Little China in.
that is a comic book film. Yeah, yeah. Look, it ain't even a real comic book, but he is a comic book character because that is Nick Fury. That is the original white Nick Fury when he was young.
It's all in the reflexes.
You cannot tell me. Look in Big Trouble in Little China. All right, he looked like Snake Plissken, just a trucker version. All
Mm.
right, Snake Plissken done said he can do anything and look like anybody. He will murk you if he has to. What did dude say in Little Trouble Big China? He was the baddest, coolest, slickest motherfucker ever.
I love that movie. I love that movie. That's one of my. I love that movie. I can watch that
He's
movie
Nick
over
Fury,
and
I
over,
swear.
and I have over and over again. I never get sick of it. I just love that movie.
No, it's
It's
a
such a
great
fun.
freaking
It's just a
film.
fun movie, but it has great balance of action and comedy and seriousness, and it's just like it's a really good, awesome movie. I love it. You know,
It is one of
It
those
had
that I think get
everything that you
underrated.
needed
yeah,
in a film.
yeah,
It even had romance.
that's it, right? It was just
It did
beautiful. I just
everything.
love that movie. Love that movie.
I'm amazed when I seen that list of genres you did. It was just funny to me that you picked that film, bro. I can't even tell you. I was like, huh.
All in the reflexes, buddy.
All right, yeah, that was a hell of a reflex, bro. I'll give you that.
All in the
Um,
reflex.
but you know, reflexes really aren't reflexes. That's actually a trained response because a reflex is when a doctor hits your knee and your shit moves involuntarily. You seeing something flying at your head and catching it technically isn't a reflex. It's a trained. You've trained your brain to do that in some capacity, but that's a whole different conversation we can get into, and the semantics of words and the fact that they're used wrong
Uh,
repetitively throughout the human
You
language. But
know,
that's a whole nother
reflex has
story,
that's
more than
show
one
number
right?
three. Show
definition,
number
right?
three. We could talk about
Huh?
that.
I said, you know, reflex has more than one definition, right? And all you did
Uh,
was just state both of them. Welcome to the English language.
yeah,
Mm-mm.
no, it's the most pain in the ass one that exists, but that's neither here nor there, right? So your favorite part of your
Mm-hmm.
job, bro, is just being able to sit down and create and do such. What makes it to where you can't do your job, Ruth? Why the fuck did I go with Hugh? I'm fucking your name up. My bad.
Oh,
Ah,
I was like, who's
sorry.
Whoa.
I was like, Bruce, who's it?
I
I
said
was like,
Ruth,
who's
man. I fucked you up with. For some reason, I had look. It's because Mike linked us up. Shout out to Mike Ruth, man. Check out his episode
Shout
and
out
the
to Mike,
episode where he
man.
sketched up Swamp Thing and talked about the fact that when Hugh just left him fucking in a puddle on the floor at a sketch competition because Hugh was just being vicious, wouldn't give him a pencil or nothing. Like I heard Mike asking and pleading for one. Hugh was like,
That's
no,
not true.
right?
That
He's
that
spent,
Mike
he's making
obviously couldn't
fallacies,
say that,
people.
man. Mike
He's lying.
Mike couldn't say that, man. Mike's my brother. He wouldn't say that.
I
Mike
know.
just got frazzled that event and didn't think, hey, let me just ask my brother for a pencil.
You left him on the floor.
But it's
You,
all
my bad.
good, man.
My
Like,
bad, though. I didn't mean to fuck up names, but as if anybody that watches the show, everybody knows I'm terrible with names. But my point, like, what kind of things do you find that prevent you from doing it as far as
prevent me
getting
from
to your
doing what?
work?
Prevents me from doing my work?
Yeah, because that's what you said you dread.
Oh, just um like what prevents me from doing my work?
It says not
Just
being able to do my
well,
job.
I have to, yeah, just like not being able to do it. So I guess if I lost a hand, or if I was put in prison and I couldn't,
Oh
they say
God.
you can never draw again. Like, I mean, that's what I mean. Like, it's just so much a part of me. I don't know anything else. Like, it's the one thing in my life that I was really
So
good
this
at,
is why you want
you
the
know.
power to heal. Because you have in the back of your head you might get your fucking hand chopped off. And if it ever happens, you apparently want to be able to heal your own hand so you
And
can
look,
continue to
man.
draw. Is that what I'm getting here, Hugh?
And if you guys were sick, hey, let me help you. I lay some hands and
I
you're
was
good.
curious. I was curious about how
Now, but
exactly you meant that.
here's the horrible part about that, though. This is what I always thought about people who had healing hands. All right. What if you pissed them off? All right. You made them so mad that they actually wanted to throw hands with you. Okay. Now, usually with those types of abilities, they give you a list of powers like superhuman strength, superhuman reflexes, da 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 da. All right. So let's say someone with healing hands has superhuman strength, so they can actually deal some damage. All right. So let's say the kid lift 100 pounds, so he gonna hit hard. So every time he hits you, you take the damage and then heal from it. Can you imagine pissing this person off and them just going to town on you? You're gonna feel it
Yo,
100 every
man.
time. It's not like it's gonna dull. It's gonna go bow,
Look, man.
heal.
Look, man. If I'm fighting a guy who's like 100 pounds more than me, we ain't fighting fair. It's as simple as that. We ain't fighting fair. There ain't no fisticuffs. There ain't no We got you know, Max
No.
Berry rules or
Yeah,
nothing
we
like
ain't
that.
doing
Bully
pop.
him, he
We ain't
holds it
doing.
down. So,
Yeah, we ain't
you
doing
know.
paper, rock, scissors. We including war and stuff. You know what I mean? Which we got to flip back into that because I missed
So
it. But oh my god,
but hey, I'm a nice enough guy after I whoop his ass and he's an inch away from the, you know what I'm saying, death. I'll heal him and say, look, and then I take him to the police and press charges.
I
That's
think
what
if
I
you
was
beat
saying.
him
I was
half
like,
to
can you
death,
imagine?
Don't get it twisted here. I draw, but don't get it
What if it's a
twisted.
spy?
Don't
Like
get it
think about this, like as a character, what if it's a spy? All right. And they're getting ready they want information from you. So they break your finger.
Yo,
And you're like, you can only break my finger so many times. And then all of a sudden your hands heal. And they're like, we're starting over, baby.
well, they got to get
That
tired
is
at some point. And I'm sure eventually I'm going to build up a tolerance that it just doesn't bother me anymore. You know what I'm
I mean
saying?
that is the whole
Stab me in
Wolverine
my,
thing. Like for
you know
real with
what I'm saying?
Wolverine,
I know it'll
you
piss
got
them off.
you got 3 claws ejected from your hand. Like eventually, you're not gonna feel those claws come out, even though they're ripping your skin every time it does it.
Not even stressing it
that's
out.
true, but Wolverine will flat out tell you, okay, so I don't feel that. So I go for your eyeball with a rusty spoon. Pop that bitch out a few hundred times and heal it. Yeah, okay, so you get used to it. What about the next one? The other one. You for used to that one. It's different. You know what I'm saying? Like
A lot
you
of
you get a crazy motherfucker like Zazaz. Give him from DC that healing power. Horrid. Oh my god.
Hardaway, this isn't Doug Wagner we're interviewing. That was a while
I'm
ago.
sorry.
You're getting real morbid with it. I was
it's
just
all
trying to
good.
talk about paper, rock, scissors, wars, and stuff. All right, because
Fuzzy
we
stuff,
missed it the
baby.
first time. I do again. I love that title, bro. From Zenith Comics. Like there'll be a link in the description.
Uno Wami, baby.
Yeah,
Zelfa.
but I just got to say real quick. You said this writer ostensibly took that concept and made a Game of Thrones style.
Story, man. It's crazy. It's crazy. It's it's brilliant, man.
Okay, who's the
You have to pick up
Lannisters in
this
that
book.
story?
Hmm?
Who's the Lannisters?
Who's the Lannisters in the story?
Yeah.
The Lannisters would probably be the Scissors. Would be the Lannisters.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
they got a lot of power. They got a lot of.
who's the Starks?
The Starks would be the Papers.
And then the Targaryens?
Targaryens would be like, yeah, I think the Targaryens would be like the Rocks.
And
Just
then
in the
everybody
sense
else
of
is just
their
war and
power
stuff.
and
Yeah,
legacy and all sorts of styles. But
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
man, it's wild, man. Trust me, you would enjoy it, man.
Yeah, I'm just
fun,
saying that
fun,
means
fun,
every
fun.
other family though in Game of Thrones, they're just the wars and stuff. Because let's be honest, those were
Hey
the three
man,
important families.
he later on he introduces other elements. It's it's a very
He doesn't
involved
introduce
series.
plastic and vinyl, does he? He's not taking it to that Doug Wagner level, does
Bully,
he?
I'm not going to say anything else. This is something you need to go pick up. You need to read this, and you need to follow this guy.
Damn it,
I'm
Hardaway,
telling
he's bringing in plastic and vinyl. I'm kind of worried about
you.
this book now.
I'm just saying, you need to go read this book.
Link in the
Trust me on that.
description for everybody. I just wanted again to point that shit out, right? And like, click that like button because we still bullshitting.
That's right. That's right.
And if you like to see me eat food every fucking episode,
Every episode.
it ain't gonna change. Next week might be chicken wings. You never know with me.
That's what's up.
And if you want to see me give this motherfucker shit for always
Not pressing
dropping the
record.
ball
Look.
on
You know
my
what?
head,
Next week, now on the
or
next
fucking up a
episode,
name,
Hardaway.
or fucking up a name, man. Like, I love him to death.
Hey, look,
And
I can't help it. Look, I have.
this man could pronounce some of the most fucked up shit from Marvel, DC, Image, and Dark Horse like none other. The most fucked up, weird ass shit can't pronounce a nigga's name.
Look, man, I've read all that since I was very young. I don't socialize with people much. They all think I'm strange because people are strange, even when you're not a stranger. But that is neither here nor there,
That's a
right? Look, I'm
bar, guy.
killing.
That's a bar. That's a bar.
Dude,
It
I
is
don't
one of
don't
his
don't
bars.
tell nobody that.
That's a
That's my
bar.
shit, and I ain't got it out yet, right?
That's it. Dropping
But for
bars,
real,
man.
people are strange, even when you're not a stranger, right?
Mm.
That's just a fact, man. So you into hip hop, man? What really got you into hip hop?
Jeez, man.
This is a comic book. Why are you
Go
doing this?
back,
No, I'm
man.
just playing.
My first cassette was Kings of Rap, man. And it had
You said
Houdini's 5 minutes
cassette.
of funk on it. And that's like one of my tunes, 5 minutes of funk, but it had like Rapping Duke and UFTO versus Roxanne and Roxanne, and like and there it was, and then just up from that. But when it really started to kick off was, you got your Run DMCs and stuff like that, and then it was just like Rakim, Kane, Slick Rick,
You a Tribe
EPMD,
Called Quest type nigga, ain't
Tribe, De La Soul. Yeah, Native Thug, Black Sheep,
Man, I'm telling you.
like, guy, just name it, Poor Righteous Teachers, like, guy, like, you go on. That's why I'm saying when you say, like, one person or nah, man, I got too many, man. It's too nice, Like, you remember when Souls of Mischief came out, guy? Like, come on.
So
Like,
wait. If I threw you on an island, Hugh, and I said, "Look, you pick one album, or fuck you, you're sitting in silence." You ain't
oh,
gonna pick an album? Yeah.
He said you did him dirty like that.
Nah,
You
man.
get one,
I'd
you get
probably
one
be
album and one comic book series.
Oh, there you go. I like it. I
One
like it
album
a
and one
lot.
comic book series.
Well, if it's one album, oh boy, that'd be
No.
a toss.
I want
That'd
to
be
say
a
one
toss
album,
up
one
between. That'd
artist's
probably be a
discography.
toss up between Tribe and Nas Illmatic. It'd
Okay.
probably be by the Tribe, Low End Theory, or Midnight Marauders. Probably Midnight Marauders, or Nas Illmatic. Like,
those
I
are
play
both
that
good
shit on.
options.
That shit's on repeat. Like, I never skip a track. Like, that shit's on repeat.
All right. So you got one album. We're gonna give you Tribe because that's the one you said would probably be. You ain't getting Nas. I said one album, man. Why are you
You're
trying
not
to
gonna
come
give
up?
me Nas. You're
You
not
trying
gonna
to
give me
no? You
Nas.
trying to
All
come up
right.
in here like I want
You're
two
not gonna
albums.
give me
I said
Nas.
I'm
All
throwing
right.
you on a
You're not gonna
damn
give me
island.
Nas.
You
Well,
get one
go check out
CD
King's Disease
and
3, man.
and
King's
one
Disease 3,
story,
man.
and
That was
and
murder.
one story arc from one comic, like one full story arc of a comic.
Full story arc.
Yeah.
Phoenix Saga.
Oh,
Phoenix Saga.
I'll give it all
Crazy.
to you too, all the way up till where she dies.
Yeah, Phoenix Saga is
All the
still one of the
tie-ins as well.
greatest. It's crazy. Phoenix
But I
Saga is
ain't
crazy.
giving you every time they brought back the Phoenix because that's like
Yeah,
1,000
after
comic
that, like,
books.
I don't like those. But I'll tell you
What
my
did you
two.
think when they
Go ahead.
gave the Avengers the Phoenix?
I'm like, what are we doing here? We playing like Uno? Like why? Like let's pass around the flaming bird. God, I'm just, you know. I just, it's just like, man, I don't know, man. sometimes, man, I gotta love hate, man.
Are
I
we
gotta love hate.
playing Uno? He said.
But
But
I'll tell you, can I say one thing? It was a two-parter. Do you remember Spider-Man 32 and 33? Man on a Rampage and Man on a Rampage, and what was the other one?
Oh, you get real specific.
Spider-Man. Yeah, Spider-Man. So we
Uh,
had Man on a Rampage and what was it? The final chapter. Did you ever remember those two? Ditko. It was the one where
what,
Spider-Man had to find the master planner because Aunt May was dying from radiation poisoning from a blood transfusion Peter gave her. Do you remember that?
hey, Hugh, you're a little older than I
but
am. I think.
Oh, you guys don't
dude,
know. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, I think you're
Didn't
a little
realize
older.
that I dropped in
no,
I don't know
that's
how I don't know
too much
exactly how
gems. I
old you
thought I
are.
was talking to
You are
real
how
heads
old
here,
you are
man.
here,
What's going
Hugh?
on?
But like, I'm starting to like. The more you talk, I'm like, I'm aware of that era. I didn't. Yeah, but I'm like, yeah, I think you
I
got a
just
couple of
play,
years
man.
on me.
Nah, no, that's
that
but
is
that
that is definitely
you know what
that's
though? If
that
you
that's
guys
a
can pick
12
that up,
state
like
comic,
if you
man.
guys can pick that up and read it, man, like Spider-Man at his when you're talking about Spider-Man, like the character of Spider-Man and Peter Parker, and just the what he had to go through to try to rescue Aunt May, save Aunt May because of this, he's like, oh my God, like my blood transfusion is giving her radiation, she's dying. And there's this one, like, there's this one isotope that can save her, and they had to order it in. Then it's stolen, and then so he has to find out who steals it. Then you find out that it's Doctor Octopus, and it's crazy, man. It's like it was an amazing story. But if you guys get a chance to read those two books, man, you'll be like, wow, like
Is it
that's
terrible? Honestly, I think I might have, but I mean, because you know how they've collected all that in graphic novel form,
Those are
right?
1966
Yeah. And
when they were
I've
first
read a lot
released,
of stuff
man.
just in graphic novel form
And
collected.
who were they written by? Just take a guess.
The Man.
Yeah.
Eh.
So
Um.
no wonder the storyline was probably
and Dick Cole, baby, Dick Cole for the artwork, man.
Why, man? On that note, just out of curiosity, I mean, you realize with everything that's happened, Stan Lee became a household name,
Mm-hmm.
right? I mean, he is. You could walk up to any person in
oh,
well,
there's two artists.
almost anywhere, and yeah, you know who Stan Lee? Yeah, they know who Stan Lee is, right? Do you think sometimes that it's crazy that the other two guys that I would say that are really responsible for making the universe a thing, that being Jack Kirby and Steve Ditko, are two names that are not near the notoriety of Stan's?
Yeah, you know, and I mean, it's one of those things that it's just kind of like a classic case that still happens today, like where you just, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes it just feels like the scales are not even. Like you got the always the argument about the writer, and then about when it comes to creation. Well, the guy who made up the idea is the main dude, but I mean, I'm like, I always tell people, I go, yeah, he made up the idea, but so did the guy who designed the character, helped you to bring that idea come about. Because if we have 10 artists and we're all sitting here, and then you make a description of something and you say each of these artists draw something, we're going to draw 10 different illustrations of your concept, right? And then you're going to pick the one that you like, and that becomes synonymous to the concept. So you can't say that that person didn't have a hand in creating what it is that you are bringing forth. You
What
understand what
an
I'm saying? Like,
interesting concept you just gave me, Hugh. If I could get a bunch of artists to agree to it. What are we doing? A
but
practice
I'm
and
just
just
saying, like, that's just what I think. But like, I mean, Stan has always tried to give those guys their props and stuff. Like,
oh yeah, no, I
um,
think Stan always did.
mhm.
I just think like especially with Like, it's the fact that they had both passed by the time the Marvel movies started coming out. So it's not like,
Yeah,
Ditko or Kirby could go make a appearance as somebody in those
yeah,
films,
yeah,
where Stan got to appear in everything up to Infinity War. Yeah.
yep. Hmm.
Yeah. So I mean, he got to be in that whole first arc. And I mean, let's be honest, I'm pretty positive they had him set up to play the Watcher,
Hmm.
because it's the only thing that makes sense as far as with him being
Yeah,
everywhere. And I've heard
it's a
theories for that.
shame. It's a shame, but it's different time, and there's just a lot of it's just a lot of things, and as things are evolving and changing and stuff like that, it's becoming more balanced out, and you know. But I mean, it was just the times of a lot of stuff too. You know what I'm saying? It just is what it is. I
So with the
just
with the changing of times, man, what do you think as far as how the comic book industry has changed, man? Because I mean, you came into it when Stan and Ditko and Kirby were all still writing. You look at it now, and I mean, you've got people like it used to be there was Marvel, there was DC, and then beyond that, what, Mad Magazine, and I mean, there weren't really any other like Archie comics. There were not a lot of comic book companies. You know what I mean? Initially, as opposed to now, you've got Image, Top Cow, IDW, Ion. You got Kevin Smith's press. He just started. You got Dark Horse, which is actually part of that. I mean, which is Kevin Smith is actually part of Dark Horse, is where he's publishing through. You've got, I mean, the list is pretty endless. I'm not going to
yeah,
sit here and name
you got
anymore.
like
And then,
Aftershock, a
yeah,
Blaze. You remember
yeah,
Antarctic Press? You have Antarctic Press still.
yeah,
You
you
have like,
got,
you know what I'm saying? It's like
yeah. And then you even have people just completely independently publishing their comics, whether it be through
exactly
Kickstarter or just funding them or just putting them up as a web comic.
that's it.
I'm curious, bro, with all of that and you seeing the change, what's your overall thoughts on all of that? Which I know is a big question, but you know,
Well, I'll be honest with you. It's the rise of the independents. It's the rise of the independent because now you have so many platforms. You don't need to publish under a big name really to get out there if you have your hustle, right? I mean, back in the days when we were coming up to make a book $3, we had to print like 25,000. So you're stuck with 25,000 books that you have to try to sell because nobody's going to pay more than $3 for your book. Maybe, when you're pushing it later on, maybe you could get five, but really for a comic book, like $5 for a comic book, like I'm talking about way back, it was like, what? You're crazy, So $3 was really your ceiling at the time. Like, but you don't have the options like now where it's like print on demand or you could just release a web comic and all these kind of things. So a lot of it now is more about your ability to manipulate these social devices, these social media style devices to work in your favor. And that's what it really becomes. A lot of the bigger company stuff, why you're seeing such a decline and stuff. I'll be honest with you, a lot of the stuff is just becoming cookie cutter. Just cookie cutter. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, how many artists can you say that's on a run that you go, man, like they've done 100-book run, they've done 60-book run, they've done 30 books, like, you know what I'm saying, like of one title
yeah, yeah.
anymore. Like, nah, man, like it's different. So it's like on one run, you'll have like 4 different artists just flipping all the time. So you're just like, you know what I'm saying? It's I don't know, man. It's just weird to me. But
Yeah, I mean that is way
the stuff
different.
is
Even
just getting churned out. It's just getting churned out. That's why I'm very selective with what I read now and stuff like that. Because a lot of the stuff I just like, man, come on, man, for real. You
so
know?
what? So curious then, man. You walk into a comic shop. Are
Mhm.
you are you looking at the Marvel, the DC, or are you looking more at the other stuff that's in there?
I'll be honest with you. It's like I a lot of the stuff that I'm looking at is when I go to shows, when I'm at conventions, and I'm in walking through Artist Alley, and I'm seeing stuff that some of these guys are creating, like their own stories, their own books, printed stuff, and it's right there, and it's like, yo, that's an interesting story. Let me read that. You know what I'm saying? And that's where I find that I buy a lot of my stuff now when I'm at shows. Sometimes you go into comic book shops and it's just a wash. It's like the walls are just like it's just so much, and you're just like, And I'm sorry, like it's a lot, but not a lot of it is good. Like you read a book now, regretfully, like you read some books, and it's just like, hey, what's going on? Oh, I have to flush the toilet. Let's go, flip. Like, there's not much in the way of storytelling and great art, beautiful artwork, but like the stories are very. It's like it can't hold my attention. Like it's just like a lot of it is just too soft. Like it's just I want
So, have you
like a
read any?
comic book. I want to be sit down and read. Like you read. Remember Watchmen, right? Watchmen,
Mm-hmm.
right? So you read the original Watchmen comic book,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yes. Yeah.
Like that's a read. You know
Yeah.
what I'm
That's
saying?
that's a
Like
yeah.
beautiful artwork, but you're sitting
Yeah.
down and you're reading that. I remember when I got Watchmen and I was in the corner and I was just reading, and just, and as beautiful as the artwork was, the story was just like, you know what I'm saying? You were compelled by both, and sometimes it's either too much one way or too much the other way. And I like a nice balance. I think comics are at their best when writers and artists are just like really in sync,
Well,
and you're
then to
just like,
that
man.
note, especially when the bigger ones, do you think that's a problem as far as they're not
Mm-hmm,
letting them? You don't see artists doing like 30 to 100 run issues like you used to. You know what I
mm-hmm,
mean? Like there was a writer, there was an artist. All right, we're gonna write 30 issues of
mm-hmm,
Spider-Man or X-Men or Superman or whatever, and it's
mm-hmm.
them too. So you think that's caused more of a divergence as far as between the
Yeah.
collaboration?
Well, like I mean, coming up, you had your Burn run, you had your Ditko run, you had your Kirby run, you had your Romita runs, like runs, and you were there was a consistency in the work, and but also what was cool about it back in the day too is like you could watch an artist grow in ability also. You know what I'm saying? Like you look at Kirby from when the very first Fantastic Four and how it evolved, how many times to the look that you see and recognize. But especially the thing evolved like what was it like 4 times before you got the style with the brow and you know what I'm saying that you say you normally see. But you could watch him grow and working it out. Oh, I'm going to change this up a little more for this issue. I'm going to change the look. Like the Human Torch, when he first came out, was just really just a flame. It was just like a flame, right? And then it changed, and then it became the guy's red, and then he had the marks. You know what I'm saying? And then the flame around him, and then you know what I'm saying. But you could see the evolvement of the characters, right? It is just like
Mm-hmm.
now I'm just like. I just, like, I don't know. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's guys who do great artwork. Don't get me wrong, like beautiful, beautiful artwork. But I'm not buying a book for just illustrations. I'm buying a book to read. I want runs. Like when I said the Phoenix Saga, you guys perked. Oh yeah, the Phoenix Saga. You guys right away, you just knew like, oh yeah, Phoenix Saga. You know that was one of them ones. You know what I'm saying?
So let
Like,
me ask, man. I gotta ask then, because that is a great saga by the X Men. But my personal favorite
mhm.
X Men saga, I want to know your opinion of it. Yeah, and I so want to see it brought to film right. I don't think it'll ever happen. Just give it to me animated, done properly, and I'll be happy. And that's the Age of Apocalypse.
Was huge.
Yeah,
Age of Apocalypse was huge.
like I
Age of
need that.
Apocalypse can't be one movie. It's too
No,
big. Age of
yeah,
Apocalypse
you would.
literally has to be like them Lord of the Rings type styles where it's like
No, dude, what are
three
you talking
different
about?
movies, four
Age of
different movies.
Apocalypse is a whole phase of Marvel.
But that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, it's a
That's
whole
what I'm saying.
phase.
You
That's like
can't you
that's like
can't
8
make one
movies.
movie of Age of Apocalypse. You can't.
Yeah.
It has to be a run. It literally has to be a run, just like just like, oh,
So
did he find the ring? Next movie. Like it literally
now
has
here's
to
the thing
be,
though.
it literally has to be on some Lord of the Rings type shit. There's too much going on. It's too in depth. It's too crazy. Cyclops with the
See,
eye. You know what I'm saying? Wolverine with the one hand. Like, what are we
Yeah.
talking about right now? Come on.
see, like that will be fun, but you know what they're really about to do though? They're about to push that House of M,
Yeah.
and now we're about to see Beast go full evil. Because if y'all didn't know this, Beast is no longer anybody's homie. that dark Beast thing and whatnot, he a bitch compared to this new Beast. You know what I'm saying? And it's the original Hank McCoy. It ain't like no new Hank McCoy. It's Hank, and he is ready to slaughter.
He's
like
becoming a little too much like Sinister.
You know,
he's becoming a little too much like Sinister is what it boils down to the point where he is like, I'll cross all those lines. So to that note, Mike, what do you think when because I mean you've read it since then. What do you think when people take characters and they put like extreme twists on them? Like, what do you think of like the Maker? Like an evil Reed Richards. I know that technically that's not them turning Reed Richards evil, as opposed to where they are turning the Beast into a villain. But like things like that where they just make kind of hard character shifts. Do you like that when you see that in the comics?
I only like character shifts if they make sense. And if the dynamics building up to their character shift makes sense. Like if it's just all of a sudden it's just and the next episode I hate you all. It's like you don't where did that come from? It's like, oh, I hate you all. Just where the hell did that come from? Why, you know what I'm saying? You can build in a way where you're doing these little snippets of things where you go, yo, how come he did that? How come he did that? And then you're just kind of and you kind of build on it. Look, when you think about DC and when you think about Green Lantern, you remember when after City got destroyed and he just started to go crazy and he was getting all the power rings and he became, what was the character?
The White Lantern?
Phoenix, or what was it?
Well, it became the White Lantern. Or are you talking about when it was the Phalanx?
Yeah, when he became...
because there's the Phalanx in the Marvel universe. Parallax. There you go. It's Parallax.
Yeah. But the buildup of that with all the fails and him failing, and he went, he snapped. He started to snap. You understand what I'm saying?
One of my favorite scenes is when he built a city in his ring.
Yeah,
he had in his ring. He had his original city before it got destroyed, and the girl he loved. He built a construct of her. This man was losing his.
But you remember, but you followed that descent into madness. You followed it. You're like, yo, this dude was losing his shit. And then when he became the thing, he's like, yo, he was the ruckus. He was like, yo, man, anyways, personally, I don't think anyone can really with lanterns, really. I think they do those guys a pure disservice. I'll be honest with you, man. Lanterns should be pure ruckus. Nobody should be able to fuck with lanterns. I'll tell you straight.
Very few.
Superman,
very few.
No, Superman. Lantern should just be dealing with this dude. Deal with him.
Yeah, no, there should be very few people that should be able to step up to a lantern on par. Very few.
Batman, he took off. He stole.
Batman stole Green Lantern's ring, he let that man know. Yeah. No, see, there's a problem. Batman steals. That man's the number one master ass thief. So I remember when Hal Jordan was acting boss in front of Batman, and he was like, I could just zap you with, and Batman's walking away with his ring. And Hal Jordan is normal. And bro,
the ring chose him. Do you think you would have a weapon that chooses you that anybody could just come and take off? That would be the dumbest. That is the dumbest thing.
Hey,
think about that.
No. I want you to think about this one. The original Green Lantern. Yeah. Let's think about that.
You. Listen to me. No. It has to choose you.
Yes, and let's think about that. The original Green.
To you. This shit's going. Trying to find your shit, and you find your shit.
And they've even had stories where it's been stopped.
So you're telling me any 2-bit crook on the street could walk up there?
There's stories where it's been stopped. Now hold on, I'm gonna even.
Hey, look,
I'm gonna give you even one worse.
All I know.
No, hold on.
All I know.
Hold on. Oh no, I'm about to give him something even worse. All right, the original Green Lantern's only weakness was wood.
Yeah, Bully. That's what I'm talking. Bully. That was a different era, man. That was the era. That was this era.
He's back though. They brought him all back, and they all going hard.
Hold on. All I know is the main point of all of this is Batman's a psychopath. Can we just get down to that, y'all?
No. I won't agree with that.
Look,
I don't. Okay,
I'll agree
what do
that
you
he has
wait,
some mental
Hardaway?
issues,
I
but I
don't
ain't gonna go with
Hardaway.
the
Just
psychopath.
no,
hold on. I don't want
Batman
to hear
can't
your
fuck with no
opinion.
Superman. Batman can't fuck with no
Look,
Wonder Woman. Batman
look. I want
can't
to know
fuck with.
Hugh. Do you think Batman is mentally stable?
Well, no, he can't be.
How
Like he,
unmentally stable? Like how mentally healthy? Percentage, like out of 1 from 10, where do you think
well, he's
Batman
not
is?
mentally healthy because he hasn't really dealt with the issues of the death of his parents and stuff. So it's like I'm not going to say he's a madman. He's not a madman like the Joker, but he is one that is driven by an unresolved issue.
I don't
You know
know,
what I'm
man. Look,
saying?
I
And
honestly, the more I look at Gotham, I'm like, here's this asshole saying, "Yeah, man, I'm gonna do good for the city." So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna dress up as like I'm a billionaire. I'm a damn billionaire. I have
No.
billions of
See,
dollars.
this is the
I'm gonna
problem
do
with
good.
him. This is the problem with him
look,
because he sits there and starts talking this shit, and he refuses to go do any research on what Bruce Wayne actually does in the city of Gotham outside of doing that. He
Okay,
runs his
firstly,
fucking mouth, no, all
I
the
don't give
time,
a
bro. And it
damn
pisses
what
me off.
Bruce Wayne has
It really
done for the
annoys the
city
shit
of
out of me because you
Gotham.
do it every
Because
time, my nigga.
look,
Because you don't
if he
know.
didn't, no. Here, hear me out, Hardaway. If he didn't invest, if he took all the money that he invested in making bat wings and Batmobiles
He
and yada yada
does.
yada and blah blah blah, and he took all
but
that excess money plus the money he already donates and just puts it into the lower community to make it healthy. You tell me that don't solve your goddamn crime problem?
No, it fucking won't because there's plenty of people that throw money into the lower communities this day in the real world
well,
and
you
it
know what
don't
I'm
do
saying?
fucking shit.
I don't
Come on, man.
understand. I don't understand how nobody could find out who this dude is. It's like, well, where are
Oh no, I'm
these
not saying they
metal
ain't goofy
supplies,
shit.
these couple trucks of iron rods going to the Wayne Manor for? Like I just to build all these tools.
What's all this
That's not
construction
hey,
equipment
hey,
he's
that's all
coming?
these
hey, he got that
specialized
invisible
electronics
technology,
going
bro.
to the Wayne Manor for. Like fully, we
Bro,
can't
he the
find out
one who
this
gave
dude.
Wonder Woman that damn invisible plane. He got invisible
Dude, let me tell
technology.
you. Let me tell you, man, he gave Wonder Woman an invisible plane. Why is Wonder Woman need anything from this dude, man? Hey,
Look,
what
you
is
explain to me how
I don't
somebody who can
Wonder
fly
Woman?
needs a
What are we
plane.
talking
You
about?
explain that one to me.
Don't let me punch you to the moon. What are we talking
Hey,
about?
Oh,
firstly,
bro,
that's
I
not
ain't
an
never
invisible.
once
Hold
said
on,
DC had
that
great
plane.
writing.
Hey, that
All
plane
right.
is not invisible. It's really just transparent. All right, I want to point that shit out. All right, it's not invisible. It's just transparent. All right, if it was
I
invisible,
don't even
you
understand
wouldn't see
what's
it
the
at all.
purpose of that. But anyways,
Oh my
I
God. See,
don't
that's
know
even
what the hell
worse.
the purpose
You'll be
of it.
sitting there going like this. What's
look,
Wonder
man.
Woman carrying?
Look, I'll tell you one of my favorite DC stories was Batman Son of the Demon. And like I love a lot of the Batman stories when he's like Gotham and it's like fighting guys like Ra's al Ghul or Ra's al Ghul, whatever, people pronounce it differently. He's actually my favorite Batman villain, Raz. He's my favorite.
Thank
But
God you
when he's
didn't
in
say the Court
Gotham
of Owls.
in that environment for me, that's when I really appreciate Batman. I can appreciate Batman. But when he's with other superheroes and he's talking like trash to them and like, Batman would mess up everybody. Like, come on, man. Superman don't even have to be near the dude. Even if he had kryptonite, Superman could be like half a mile away. Oh yeah, Batman. Hey, Superman, I'm gonna stop you. Okay, here's a heat vision blast. Just do some like Kingdom Come and he just burn.
And like, I mean,
Yeah.
my whole point, like,
Hey,
how would
look,
he ever
Batman,
stop
look,
the
I'll
Flash?
give you I'll give you that.
what are we
But
talking
Batman's
about?
smart enough to go to Constantine and say, hey, Constantine,
Superman Chuck,
help me.
look, man, Superman Chuck cars at this dude just like from a distance. Like you got a kryptonite ring. Here's a nice truck for you. Like,
here's
you
a
like the
Ford
Dodge Ram? Well,
Explorer.
here's a
Go
He
15.
just
Like,
asked
Explorer.
Zatanna to put that
talking
kryptonite ring
about?
into Superman's heart.
And
All
then
he
it's
has to do is say
like
ring
the
in his heart
Flash. Like
backwards.
how is
Are
he
you
gonna
for you?
how is he gonna mess with the Flash? Have you ever read the stats on the Flash? The Flash says it goes, Flash can move at the speed of light. Do you understand what they're telling you
See,
this
that's the
guy can
one.
do?
I'll tell you, and that's the guy. I think. And first off, I wish that actor would just calm down. I really do. I wish the dude playing the Flash would just, bro. Can you just take a moment in your life and just breathe because I want to be able to enjoy that movie and not be watching it going, God, this guy's an asshole. You know what I
Yo,
mean?
The
that's that
only
Ezra dude. That's
the
Like,
that
only
Ezra
reason
dude.
why
all the crap he's
there's
done,
only
bro.
one reason
But
why I think Batman. There's only one reason why I think Batman can beat Barry, and that's because Barry trusts too many people. Barry's a very nice and trusting
yeah,
Okay,
person,
but the whole
and
thing
that
look
will
what.
is,
get you
Okay,
killed.
look what a bullet does to you, and a bullet hits you at the speed of sound. Bullet travels at the speed of sound, and look what a bullet would do to you. Flash could be just running to guys and just touching them, explode, explode, explode with all that kinetic energy this dude can build up. He should be just touching guys. Boom, boom, pop,
so
pop,
imagine
pop, pop,
that
pop.
really.
He's just
Like,
popping
stop
guys.
and think about that. How much, like, there, I don't think the Flash ever gets enough credit for how much he holds his power back.
No, look,
You
this
know
is
what I
what I'm
mean?
Oh
trying to
yeah,
tell you.
yeah.
Like if Flash is running at you,
Yeah.
if Flash hits you, there is no, oh, I took Flash blow. No, Flash is knocking you out one punch. Doesn't matter who you are. If Flash hits you once, you're done. There's no, oh, that hurt, Flash. I'm going to get you with my cold gun. Fuck that shit. What are we talking about right now? This is the Flash. What are you talking? This guy hit you just like, oh shit. Like, you know what I'm saying?
And
You ever
see,
been
He
can I
just
rocked?
turned
say,
into a
Have you ever been
cloud.
rocked by? Have you been rocked by a punch by like a dude who can punch? And that shit rocks you like, oh, and that's just a regular dude. The Flash hitting you,
yeah, I
running
would.
at the speed of, like, even if he's running at 60 miles per hour, if he hits you, you're done. What are we talking about? These
Can I say
guys,
too,
man, that's
as far as to your point, Hardaway,
Hey,
being like
I
very
need you.
trust
There's
people
a
too much.
hold on. In
No.
Stanley's,
You say Barry trusts people too much, right? I mean,
yeah,
you're gonna try and move towards him real quick and not think he's
no,
not gonna get the fuck out
dude,
the
dude,
way.
dude.
no, that wouldn't even be the ordeal. Barry go to sleep, and that'd be it. That all it'd be. Batman would sneak in. He wouldn't hear him. He wouldn't hear the nigga. Not one bit. He'd sneak in and he'd put that
Barry,
fucking bullshit ass chest thing on his thing
Barry,
that where if he goes a
Barry
certain speed, he
can
dies.
pick up on the vibrations of shit. What are we talking about right now?
Yeah,
Do you
I know,
understand?
but
Batman
here's the
would go like
thing.
this. Batman would
But
go
this
like
is the
this.
best part
Barry
about
Barry,
it.
I'm
DC
about
has
to pull out the
already written
batarang, and all of a sudden, Batman's like, "How did I get behind
no
these bars?"
batarang needed.
Barry just
No batarang
go like this.
needed. That's the
But
best part
why
about
am I
it.
behind these bars? What happened? Because the Flash
Look,
zip
this is how fucked up this is. This is how fucked up this is. Batman can
What the?
sneak up on Superman, and Superman can hear a nigga scream 5 planets away.
Look. All I got to say
All
though is
right.
I don't
I
think.
like this is what the writer said. Like I said, I never once said that DC got great writers. All right. All I
Look.
said,
Hold on.
all
Hold
I
on.
said was is
I have
Batman
to
broke
invoke
it.
the man again. I'm invoking the man. All right.
Oh,
And what the man
oh,
said was, who wins the story is dependent upon the writer. And that's what the
exactly.
man said. Right. But I
I
will
understand,
agree.
but they will always write that Batman beats everybody for some
But
fucking
you know
reason.
what I respected about Stan? What I really respected about Stan when Stan was in control and everything, a guy could come and write a story, but Stan would say, "Hey, you can write a story about Daredevil fighting the Hulk, but Daredevil can't beat the Hulk, just so you know." So the story didn't become about Daredevil knocking out the Hulk, and so it was Daredevil trying to do whatever he can to stop the Hulk. And the story became about him and what he was trying to do to stop the Hulk. You know what I'm saying? And it forced you to be more, you know what I'm saying? Like, okay, I gotta be creative. And so the characters had to be creative, and that's kind of what I miss. Now everybody's like, God this, God that, break planets, this, that, and then what happens to the gods? They become nothing. And then what happened to the celestial beings? They become nothing because everybody's on this God tier level. Like I want my cats, some cats just need to remain where they're at. Like that's what they do, and that's what they do best, and keep it in that
Hey,
confines.
did
Well,
you
That's
did
what
you
I'm
yeah.
saying. I
read
don't want everybody having flaming bird powers.
Well,
Like, look
no,
at
and
me,
I agree because
I'm a
that's like
Phoenix
what they
too.
just did with
Like,
the
you know what I'm
Punisher.
saying?
Yeah,
did
what
you
they
read
just
the hold on.
well, no, hold on,
Did
Hardaway.
you read
What they just did with the
damn it.
Punisher, as far as first there's the Ghost Rider Punisher that's all like
Yeah.
cosmic and this and that, which that's an alternate
No,
universe
that
one.
was a great
But then,
story. That was a great
all right, well,
story.
whatever,
Go
whatever. But
hold
I'm
on.
just talking about the general overpowering of, and then the actual 616 Punisher, they've made a member of the Hand, and he's got the power of the demon or some like, and he
Mhm.
just used his superpowers to kick Daredevil's ass real recently. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And they've given him superhuman level abilities. And when I think of the Punisher, like when I think of Frank Castle, I never think of a fireball coming out of his hand.
Oh, like and some characters don't need that. Like some characters, you just if not everybody has to have like super abilities. So like guys like Frank Castle, guys like Daredevil, like yeah, Daredevil has the heightened senses and stuff like that. But you know what? He's a very extreme. He's a very good boxer and he's a very good martial artist. But he doesn't have like he's not the guy who presses the car. He's not the guy who punches the wall and it crumbles. You know what I'm saying? Everything now becomes about his abilities and his senses and his reflexes. You know, so what reading the Daredevil book was so cool because what would happen? He'd be facing a guy in front of you like this, and he'd throw the bully club to the left. And the guy'd be like, haha, you threw the bully club, but you crazy, and the thing's ricocheting and hitting the guy in the back of the head. That's what you were getting out of a Daredevil book. Same with Captain America and the Shield. When's the last time you seen Cap like throw the shield and it's like ricocheting off of stuff and hitting guys? When's the last time you've seen that? When's the last time you've seen that?
In the Falcon and Winter Soldier, they were very much
In the
showing that
movie,
he was.
but I'm talking about in the comic books. When
Fair
have you
enough,
really
man.
seen Cap?
You said when's the
Lately,
last time I've
during-
seen it? I'm just
I'll be
saying.
100. I don't read Captain America comics, so I couldn't tell you last time I seen it
I'm just
anyway.
saying.
Besides the
I'm just
movie,
saying.
but when it comes to the Frank Castle and whatnot, that story, I don't know about this hand shit. All right, but when it came to him becoming Ghost Rider, all right, that was actually legit. He was on his deathbed. Thanos just killed everybody on the fucking planet, and Mephistos came up and was like, "Hey, nigga, you want your revenge?"
Yeah. But you know what? And I liked how that came about. I can appreciate that. Like I can go, okay, I can see that. Mephisto has appeared before people and done a lot of shit before, so that wouldn't even surprise me. Like that wouldn't be like, oh, where's this? Like I can respect that if when the continuity seems like, you know what I'm saying? Oh, okay, I get a sense of why that's happening. But like, Punisher for me was just like, man, he was just one of those dudes, like on that humanistic level that it was like, you know, he wasn't super powered, he wasn't thing, but he was this man on a mission and just like, yo, and he was just.
Hey, I agree with you. That's why I like the Punisher myself, but I did enjoy him becoming Ghost Rider for a second because that shit was hilarious.
Can I just say, have either of you read Garth Ennis's Born?
No.
No.
Okay.
But
I think, well, real quick, I think Garth Ennis does a real nice, and for anybody that I think Garth Ennis did some of the best work with the Punisher, in my opinion, as far as for the character. He wrote that character real freaking well, in my opinion. Born is where he writes Frank when he's back in Vietnam, and it kind of explains in a way of why he lost what he lost, but why no one is able to kill him. He made a deal in a really extreme situation in Vietnam. You know what I mean? Where it was like, hey, you're going to die unless you don't kind of agree to just deal with me. And they kind of made it to where it was like it might have been Mephosa or the devil or something. They never got specific in the Bourne comic. If anybody hasn't read Bourne, I'm sorry, I'm ruining a comic that's like over a decade old for you. Spoiler warning.
Look, all I can say is this. Deadpool might be a normal human being. Or not Deadpool, Punisher. You can tell I'm tired. Punisher might be a normal human being in like the true story of the continuity of things. He is a normal human being that scares everybody.
Well, that's it.
When you're like this, and that's why. And here's the thing: we're talking about a dude who only has guns and weapons. You know what I'm saying? And the fact that he will put a knife to your throat even if it won't cut you. All right. That scares people like Colossus that can throw a whole half a skyscraper at you without blinking an eye. You know what I'm saying? Like the Juggernaut goes, the Punisher's gonna be here. I don't necessarily feel like dealing with that shit. Why? Because that helmet's about to pop off and your nugget's about to be attacked. You know what I'm saying? So it's like
No.
Villain comes into the picture. I got sonic wave bombs on his ass.
Is it knocking off no Juggernaut helmet, man? And then he
Hey, all I
writes,
know is my
Watch
two
knocking off
favorite
Juggernaut's
my two
helmet is to
favorite
But
get.
Punisher
watch him.
moments.
Sorry.
I mean, that's pretty true, Hardaway. He's really not. But my two favorite
He
Punisher
will.
moments I've ever seen in the comics were one during the original Civil War, where he let Cap beat the holy hell out of him, and he was like, "No, I won't fight you.
Because
I
I
won't."
respect you.
Yeah, he's like, "I respect you too much and what you stand for. If you feel I need beaten, I apparently need beaten." You know,
and
like,
and that's that military respect. That's
yeah.
that military, you know what I'm saying? For everything that Frank Castle is as a vigilante, he still wears his flag. Like, do you understand? Like, he's still, you know what I'm saying? He feels
Now,
I'm doing this
to
to
that,
protect,
to that,
you
to
know?
Give him
exactly what you're
adamantium
saying,
bullets and
Hugh.
tell me who he ain't gonna shoot and
But
kill.
no. To exactly what you're saying, Hugh, he does very much wear his shield, that being a skull on his chest. My favorite moment where he ever made a reference to this, and I couldn't tell you what issue it was. I know I've read it. Was when he was walking around and there were cops supporting the Punisher, and they're like, "Hey, man, we love you," and he literally grabs one of them by the scruff of their neck, slams him up against the cop car, and he's like, "Boy, I ain't your hero. You need to
Yeah.
understand that right now. You want a hero, you got one. His name's Steve Rogers." And for
Mhm.
everybody out there that thinks like you're in any kind of service and you think the Punisher is cool to look up to, I want to be like Frank Castle. You're part of the problem. All right. I'm sorry. That's not you. We don't need a bunch of Punishers walking around on the
Look,
fucking planet.
No,
It's
for
not.
sure.
It's
I'm
not
gonna tell you
necessary.
this right now. You give Punisher 100 rounds of adamantium bullets, and there ain't gonna be not one villain left.
I know he's going around and dealing with cats for sure, and that's what the great thing about those dynamics are. Like, okay, how is Punisher going to deal with these guys? Don't give him superpowers. Make him try to figure out things to deal with these guys. Same kind of thing like Batman have to figure out stuff. I'm going to beat Superman. I'm going to beat and have his little database of how he would beat those guys. You know what I'm saying? But that's what a guy like Punisher would be doing too. Like, he's an assassin, mercenary, like, and was one of the top ends of that. Like, he's not just gonna. It's not just about him running in and just and just shooting. This guy comes with tactics. Like, he
It's not.
really
So
comes with
wait,
tactics.
you're saying it's not the Punisher Warzone movie?
Dun, 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 dun.
I couldn't help myself, man. That's all that movie was him walking in, shooting rockets at people that were jumping in midair, and just like
Dun,
if that
dun,
movie
dun,
wasn't
dun.
overkill, I don't know
Look,
what is.
there's only one person who plays the Punisher that I agree with right now, and that is Shane from Walking Dead, because I don't know his real acting name. Sorry about that, dude. But you do kill it as fucking as a Punisher. I've I just haven't seen anybody yet. You know, when Marvel's really good at casting. You know what I'm saying? And when they did that Netflix series about the Punisher and they put that man on there, I was like, he's gonna be trash. That's what I thought. I
No,
was like, I don't think he's gonna make it.
heard of that
He
role.
killed it.
He killed that role. He killed that role.
Yeah.
That Daredevil is still, out of all of them, the best ones, the best in that whole Netflix series of Marvel
Oh
stuff.
yeah.
Everyone says
That
That
that.
is
Daredevil,
Matt Murdock.
Yeah,
that
everyone
Daredevil is
says
crazy.
that. I still prefer the Punisher, and I guess it's because they
And
gave him.
Punisher, but Punisher,
Yeah,
Daredevil and Punisher to me.
yeah. It's just like
Like,
the moment
I
in the
think they
Punisher
killed it with
right?
series
Luke
that
Cage,
like
Jessica
really gets
Jones.
me. Well, no, is when he's
Iron
fighting in a
Fist.
little, like in a little cafe.
Iron Fist I wasn't too big
That
a
was
fan
terrible.
with,
But
like,
no, I love when Punisher's fighting in a cafe and he literally grabs a coffee pot and
Yeah.
just shatters it and proceeds
Yeah.
to stab the absolute hell out of someone. And I'm like, yeah, that's Frank Castle. That's very, very. I never
Yeah.
thought I'd see somewhere where they brought out that side of Frank Castle in like a TV or a film, but yeah, that's what Frank would do. He'd break it and then he'd stab
Like,
you with it.
like you
I
gotta,
won't
like, you
take
got.
this
That's what
coffee
I'm
cup.
trying to say. It's like there's a difference. There's a difference between a guy who's protecting the streets and decides I'm going to put on a costume and protect the streets. the regular streets. Okay, yeah, you're gonna come up against guys who can bang, guys who can fight, guys who can think. Yeah, that's one thing. But when you're in the military and you're fighting on that life and death level as constantly as he did, on where guys are trying to, it's different. Like Frank Castle on regular dude he's just gonna walk through a lot of cats. Like, you know what I'm saying? Unless Batman is using gadgets, to me, Frank Castle, it's gonna be a hard day. It's gonna be a hard
You're
day for
gonna have to
Batman, I'm
need
telling you.
you gonna need
Unless he has
Deathstroke or
his
Deathshot.
gadgets, it's gonna be a hard day.
Yeah, you're gonna need Deathstroke or Deathshot.
Yeah, because Frank Castle isn't going. We're going to do these exchanges. No, everything is destructions. Everything's are breaks. One shot,
Everything's
one
how can
kill.
I break your throat or neck?
Yeah, I'm going
Yeah.
to rip your throat out. I'm going to push your nose bone up into your brain. Like, it's different. Like, that mentality is different.
Imagine.
Cats don't
So
know,
so
man.
let's
Like,
just put this thought in your head, you. You don't
what?
like Superman. What if you gave Superman a Frank Castle mentality? Like just full blown, this fool
My
suddenly thinks
my
like the
my
Punisher.
problem with Superman isn't anything on why he's Superman and stuff like that. My problem with Superman is that he's just so powerful that the stories become so inconsistent that I can't get with the guy, because one minute he's moving a planet, next minute he's having problems with a guy with a cold gun. Why? Like, the man just moved the planet. It
Okay,
makes
okay,
no
but
sense
imagine
to
if they made him a villain. And
They
he
do.
they've done that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
they've never made Punisher. They never gave Soup like full, not Clark
Well,
Kent.
he's become, but not like in that crazy, not crazy, like
That's
I'm
what. No,
not
I mean
Ultraman.
like
type
he
stuff.
goes like, let's say
Have you
here,
not heard of Ultraman?
Mhm.
let's say
No,
you
yeah,
could
well,
take
like when
Clark
you're talking
Kent.
about that's the other universe alter thing.
Yeah, but
Like,
that is Superman,
yeah,
boy. Like that's Clark Kent, nigga.
yeah, that's
Who
true.
he just he is hate incarnate.
All right, well
Hate is
let's say
fucking
though,
carnate.
he ain't as bad as like the Maker, I would say.
Mm.
Look, the Maker's a genius, a super genius. All right,
Maybe that's the
we're
thing.
talking about Ultraman isn't a super genius. He's a criminal genius.
I
All right,
just, I just, I just think with
that's it.
Superman, he's just too, his powers make his stories inconsistent, because when you want to do a certain story, then you have to depower him to make it work. And then there'll be another story. All of a sudden, he's doing these super extreme things that you're going, well, but the last issue, he had
See,
problems with this dude here. And then all of a sudden, now he's like, Superman to me should, like, unless you're like Dark Side and you know what I'm saying? What's the other dude?
Doomsday.
Doomsday. Like characters like that. Like anybody on Earth, he should be just like, yeah, you guys handle that. I stay out here in
I mean,
space and look for
Lobo is always a
ultra
problem
power
for
dudes who are
him.
trying to
Yeah,
fuck with the
Lobo's always
planet.
a problem,
but
which I
see,
find amusing.
this is the one thing I will say about DC that I finally just said. You know what? This is how DC works. All right. If there's a storyline where, for instance, Superman gets shot by a guy with a cold beam gun, you know what I'm saying, and causes his whole world to just go up asunder, you know what I'm saying? You know, the oxymoron intended. All right. If that's the case, I just take it as Superman got caught slipping. That man got comfy thinking he was the shit, and someone rolled up on him and was like, anybody can get it, fool. Pow! And caught him. You know what I'm saying? Like DC puts it out there. Hold on. DC puts it out there in their world that anybody can get it at any time. They can catch it. Will they survive? Maybe. Most likely, if it's Superman. Most definitely, if it's Superman. You know what I'm saying? The motherfucker got put in the grave
Except
for
that one
7
time.
days, and he just came back because of the sun. You know what I'm saying? Like, look, when they killed Superman off, that would have been their best and greatest storyline ever. All right, and then little baby Superboy could have came up and took over the mantle. You know what I'm saying? It would have been great, phenomenal. No, they had to be like, no, this man came back from the grave. He was flatlined, but the sun brought him back. I fucking hate
Bro,
Superman.
all I
I really
know,
do.
Hardaway.
Look,
No, do you think they're
I'll
gonna?
tell you.
Go ahead, you.
Oh, sorry. The best. I'll tell you one thing though. The best story for DC like reestablishing that Superman is our dude. He is that dude for us was Kingdom Come. And when you read Kingdom Come, you know what I'm saying? And especially the fight with him and Shazam, because I think Shazam should be just giving this guy the work. And when they said, "Hey, like Captain Marvel," and Batman's like, "You're forgetting about Marvel," and he's like, "What? Marvel?" And it's like, "Yeah, because he's that dude who can bring you the ruckus." But just the way they did it, that story, I was just like, okay, this is brilliant. I'm not a big fan of Superman, but the way they set that up, it was just beautifully done. And you realized how they established him as, yeah, he's still that dude at DC. You know what I'm saying? He's still that dude in the whole collective of guys. And I just thought Kingdom Come was really amazingly written. Alex Ross did his stuff in the artwork, just murdered it. But like when you look for like a good Superman story, for me, like Kingdom Come is it. My go-to is always Kingdom Come.
And can I just say though,
a lot of people say that, and I'm just like, man, if you would have just pushed the Spectre a little more into there, whatnot, you would have watched Superman hit a wall.
Well, look, all I know is Hardaway thinking that DC would ever leave Superman just dead permanently is about as wrong as eating Chinese with a fork, bro.
They couldn't.
I don't know how you're gonna do
That's
it.
the dude that started it all. There's just no way that's ever going to
Yeah,
happen.
and that's why you're supposed to eat Chinese with a fork. That's how it started. You come on.
Dreams don't always come true, but I can fucking dream. Look, man, I can dream that they'll push any of the other Superman. All right, look, Superman's racist. All right, I said it. All right, Superman racist and DC racist for making Superman the way they is. For instance, the only black Superman they ever showed you is the only Superman they ever showed you in any of the continuities that lost the dark side. Fuck DC.
I don't.
No, I'm just playing.
Man, would you stop, Hardaway? We got some people coming up, and like, you asshole. Like, they're gonna go back and look at an episode, and some exec at DC is gonna be like, nobody go on the questionnaire. Fucking one of the co-hosts is all like, "Fuck DC," and I'm like, that motherfucker's just an asshole.
That guy Jay is crazy.
Hey, look, I'm sorry.
I'm
sorry. I done read. When I'm sitting here reading, because mind you, my favorite DC story is Identity Crisis. All right, but when I'm sitting here reading all of the different versions of DC universes and stuff like that, because they got quite a few characters that I absolutely love. All right, but when I'm like, man, is there any reason why I should like Superman? Because I like Kryptonians, I just don't like Superman. Kal-El, Clark Kent, whatever you want to call him, I just don't like that character. All right. Now, is there any way for me to like him? They're like, well, here's an alternate version of Superman. They're like, and he's black. I was like, all right, cool. Let me look into this man. He's the only one that lost the dark side. Like, he's fighting a rebellious war. I'm like, really? I mean, I guess that makes for a harder, more darker universe and whatnot, but it got to be the only one. You know what I'm saying? Like, really, bro? And it came out in the night, like the early 2000s, some shit. It's like, come on.
Rise. I have one thing to say to that. Rise of the Independents, buddy. Create your own story.
Hey, we love him over here. That's why that's why we do Kickstarting comics, and we'll have a couple more episodes of that coming up to where, we're helping some people get off their Kickstarter as far as to push that. But Hugh, it's been a pleasure, bro. My dumb ass just wishes I had recorded the first 15 minutes of it, but that's neither here nor there.
We still love you, man.
There's going to be technical errors, ladies and gentlemen. What can I do? I am the unknown factor.
Hey, that's the unknown factor, right? That's it.
Yeah.
It wouldn't work if everything just went smooth all the time.
No, dude, you have no idea how much it wouldn't, and it never does. But that's part of being Mr. Factor. Just ask Fabian, man. You can check that episode out. One episode back, I believe, right? But that's neither here nor there, man. Before we cut out this bitch, Hugh, can I get you to be like, yo, this is Hugh Rookwood. Make sure you catch the questionnaire every Wednesday or just whenever Factor decides to drop it. And then if you want to add something else.
Okay. Well, yo, this is Hugh Rookwood. You can catch the questionnaire every Wednesday. It's an unknown factor, though, so hopefully the show will appear. But, I'm just doing my due diligence and giving my shout out. So, the questionnaire, Hugh Rookwood, the unknown factor, Jay Hardaway. What can I say? It's been a pleasure. You guys rock, man. Thank you, man.
Hell yeah, bro. It's been a pleasure. And look, if y'all have liked this interview, right, and or if you appreciate Hugh, man, I keep on wanting to just call you Rook for some reason, Hugh. I don't know why.
You know what? You call me Rook. It's all good.
It's like
Hip
there's
hop,
just something
baby.
about
That's
that. The
his
flow, I don't know.
that's his hip hop stage name and his superhero name, Rook. He
It
just slides
perfectly.
across the board, knocking everybody out.
It does work pretty perfectly, right? But if you appreciated this interview, right, I want you to like the video, go click those links, check more into Hugh's work, right, and send him some Jamaican chicken
Roti, man. Chicken
roti,
roti guy.
roti. Okay, what the fuck ever, man. I can't even pronounce the
You said
goddamn food.
rotini.
Yeah, I did, man. I don't give a shit, right?
Extra letters.
Right? Yeah, hell yeah, man. I just add extra shit. It's that unknown, right? Or or send him a
Rotini.
Vanguard Ace figure from back in the day.
Yo, that guy
Right?
Ace, man. Yeah.
Now, if for some reason Hugh has annoyed you during this interview, what I want you to do is go find yourself a vampire, cover it in sardines, and send it Hugh's way. I don't think he'll
That
enjoy
is
that
so
And
nasty.
can I just
whatsoever.
leave this disclaimer right now? The opinions expressed are those of the participants and do not necessarily reflect those of everybody here on the questionnaire.
Well, are you saying you don't want
Thank
a
you.
sardine covered vampire sent after you? I understand, Hugh. But it's the quest. And if they don't like you, man, what else are you going to do? I'm just giving them options. I gave them
Man,
some
he can
dope
get off
options if
for
they
his
like you
head.
too. Make sure
He
y'all
can get
click the
off for
links.
his head. Nobody
That's
loves
so.
me. It's
Hey,
true.
it's
Hey,
because you left Mike
hey!
on the floor,
I told my
right?
ex yesterday. I feel like Roger Dangerfield.
Yes,
No
yes,
respect
no
at all.
respect.
Hey, look, it's because he put my boy Mike on the floor at a con, just like in a puddle. Like, man, you destroyed
Man,
Mike.
you crying about that
You,
a lot, bro.
I
Like
was
it wasn't
so
even like that.
I was so
It
rude. I'm
wasn't
just
even
fucking
like
around. I
that.
don't
He
even
came
care.
in
Look,
there.
all I know is here soon, coming up on an episode, we're gonna have another sketch battle, and we're gonna put them two, and God knows who else, and we're just gonna see what the hell happens, man. Because
Yes,
this is the
sir.
quest. Make sure to get
I
your
look
comic
forward
Sketch
to
on.
coming
off.
back, man. Have
Yeah,
some fun.
like, subscribe, click that bell, or whatever other notification you need to if you're on
Send
audio
me
or if you're on
gummies.
Amazon or Spotify, whatever. Make sure you keep up. Make sure you check out all the podcasts and the work of the creators there amongst you. I appreciate all y'all
Gummy
checking this out
bears.
and everyone that's come on. Have a good night, y'all.
Deuces.
Take
Gummy
care.
bears.
Peace.
I need all the gummy bears.
All of them.